Hey guys, welcome back to the series on coding for interview problems or interview coding, whatever you call it. So today I have a question that was recently asked in Microsoft's phone screen. So we will be going over it, and it is in lead code. It sort characters by frequency. Let me just set up my screen a bit. All right, awesome. And today I'm drinking this beer from Ooh, it's pretty hoppy. Little Willow Brewing Company, and it's a double dry hopped IPA. The brewery is from Mass, and dry hopping means you add hops after the beer is fermented, so it's a flavoring thing. I'm getting into brewing, so. All right, so today's question is again like a medium level question, and it's pretty straightforward. Where given a string S, you basically have to sort it according to its frequency or according to the frequency of the characters. As an example, if we see tree, E occurs twice, R occurs once, T occurs once. So basically, I output EE and then R and then T. So rather, yeah, exactly. So, and for the elements that occur once, the order doesn't matter. It could be either R or T or TR. That's also fine. Again, so in this string, CCC, both C and A occur thrice, so AAA, CCC is also fine, and the other order is also fine. In this particular fashion, B occurs, so capital and small are treated as two different characters. So BB occurs twice, that's why it's in the first place, and then capital A and small a. So basically, we have to sort the string according to its characters. Pretty simple, or according to the frequency of characters. So let's begin. So first I'll code in Python and then I'll try to re-implement the same thing in C++. So the way I will do this in Python is first create a dictionary. It's pretty standard trick to do. So first I'll store the frequency of each character. So let me create a dict. Let me call it count. And what I will do here is, excuse me, this is my dictionary. And then for each element in my string, if it exists in the string, just add to it. If not, just create an entry. I could have just done a default dict, but okay, so this piece of code has created so this creates a frequency table, frequency map. Ah, can't type today. Great. So now that I have a frequency map, I would like to sort it. So a dictionary has keys and items. So but now I need to sort it according to the items. So the key positioning would also change. So the way I would do it is, first of all, I'll use this method in Python, sorted. And the way it works is, first I have to provide a list of items. So here it could be an array, or I can pull, or list of tuples as well. So here I can pull the key value pair as a tuple. And the way to do this is call in the items method of the dictionary, which grabs all the key value pairs as tuples. And then I have now, okay, so I have a list of tuples. The sorted method doesn't know how to sort it. So the way to tell it how to sort it is by giving a key function. So here I'll provide a lambda function where I tell it that the value that you need to sort it by is, let me first type it out. Okay, so let me break this down now. So first of all, here is my list of tuples. And this second argument basically tells the sorted method how to sort it by. So what is the key that we are sorting against or in comparison to? And the key is basically, the key gets elements of my count.item. So it gets a tuple, and I tell it when you get a tuple, the first element is the one that you should use for comparing, because the first element is the one that contains the frequency of letters. The first element is the one that contains the number that tells you how many times the number occurs. So sort it. So sort count.items according to the second value of each tuple. That's what this tells you. And this is a lambda function. I mean, I could have just used some other function, but lambda function works as well. And then since we want it in a reverse order, that's why I have reverse equals true. So this will give me a sorted tuple, or reverse sorted tuple. And now what I will do is, so what I mean by that is initially, let me just type it out. So initially in this example, let's say tree, my count would have key value. So count would look like okay, count.items is this. It would have, let's say, R occurring once, and then T occurring twice. Oh wow, this is a pain to type. And then what's the other one? E. E occurring once. So that's the initial thing. But after sorting, I would get it to be a list of tuples like this. T occurs twice, and then I would have R and E. So that's how I would have it. So um, this is what the sorting method does. And then finally, I need to output it out. So let me define a empty string, and then let me loop through all the tuples in the list, and the tuples. So I would have to repeat a character the number of times it occurred, right? So I of 1 or I of 0 times I of 1. So this tells it to, so I'm appending to output, and what am I appending? The character times the number of times it occurs. Pretty straightforward. That's it. And let me return the output. Great. So let's run this piece of code. Okay, we ran into an error. Item. It's items. Okay, great, awesome. Well, let me show you. It ran successfully. So let me now submit it. Great. Like I said, I'm not trying to beat everyone else. I'm not trying to come first. I'm just trying to have a solution there. So this worked pretty well. All right, now let's switch over to C++, and we will try to re-implement the same Pythonic way of doing things, or rather the way we solved it in Python in C++, step by step. Great. Okay, let's begin. Okay, so let me first create a string, and then let me create a vector because we will need that, and this vector would be pair. Same thing, because we had tuples in Python. Here I can just say that I have pairs, and this pair would be char. It doesn't, I can make it int, but just to separate it out, we. And then I also need a hash map. All right, so these are the data structures that I would need. So first, I loop through my string and basically add it to my hash map. So if it's not present, create an entry, else just add to it. I haven't coded in C++ in a while, so I'm a bit rusty. All right, so excuse me, so we have now added all the elements that we need in our hash map. Good. Now we need to get the tuple list out. So we need to populate our vector with these tuples. So let me now iterate through our hash map. So for auto, and then I'll push back into our vector. So our vector is basically a pair. Same thing, the tuples that we had in Python, and here I am pushing back tuple-like things, so pairs rather here. So pairs in the same order, a character and then the int. Great, so now I have my vectors out. Now what I need to do is sort. So we will use basically the std sort function. As we used in Python, we use sorted, and I need to, given the begin and end iterators, and then again we run into the same issue of how do we sort it. So I will give it a sorter method. Okay, so once I have that, I will define the sorter method in a bit. Now finally we need to output out the string. So again I go into, so this assumes, so after this step my v would be sorted, like it would be a sorted list of tuples. So I will again loop through it and basically append into my string s2, which is what I will return. So return s2. So the way I would do it is, let me first grab the number of times um, the element occurs. That's the second value in the tuple pair, or in the pair. The second thing tells you how many times it occurs. So, and then I just have a while loop which just pushes back the character that many times. So what this bit of code does is, first I see how many times um, a particular character occurs. That is done by grabbing i.second, and then I that many times I push back the character into the string. Pretty straightforward. So now that I have it, now I need to define this sorter method. So this sorter is basically a function that returns either 1, 0 when or maybe -1 as well, I don't remember. But basically it grabs elements of v, and then it'll grab like 2 elements of v, and then it'll pass to the sorter method. And what the sorter method has to do, tells to perform a comparison whether one is greater than the other in order. So that's the way the the sort method works. So yes, it's 1 or 0 because it's a bool method. So let me do that. And then since v is a vector of pairs, so the elements of it are std pairs, so I would need to create pairs. So I create pair p1 and then p2. And all I do is return if it's greater than p2 dot, second, because second is the one that contains the value. All right, pretty straightforward. So this is basically the comparator, that the lambda function that we defined last time here in C++, in Python rather. In C++, you have to manually write this function. I could have actually written a lambda function here as well. But again, this is far too many operators. Well, auto would have worked. Okay, let me first try to run the code, and I run into, oh, so the error I get is that, let me show you, non-static member function must be called, reference to non-static member function. So basically what that means is these methods need to be static. So I'll add static keyword here, and then let me run it again. Let's see, and it worked fine. So now let me click submit and see what happens. Awesome. We were able to successfully submit this code in C++ as well. So again, this code is exactly the same thing what I did in Python. So I first create a string that we will return, a vector, and then a hash table map. So first I populate the hash table with the frequency of each characters. Then in the vector, I push all the items of my hash table as pairs, and then I sort it out using my custom sorter. And then basically I output it out to the string and I return it. So pretty straightforward problem. So the only tricky bit in this question was how do you sort a hash table? So the point is you grab all the values, you sort them, or you use a custom sorter. So that's the only tricky bit here. I hope you found this helpful, and I will keep making videos like this because even I learn by doing these kind of problems. So please like and subscribe if you found this helpful. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.